Welcome to Life Talks with Immaculate and Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us today, wherever you are in the world. And talk about where you are in the world. We wanted to talk today about our first experiences or first time traveling and what difference that has made in our lives.
And what lessons we learned, inspirations, background to so many things in our lives.
Exactly. So for you, I'm laughing because earlier I was just saying I'm getting into this habit of calling her Immaculate. But that's what the thing is called, is her name. So Immaculate. I was laughing in my head. I was like, what do you mean not to call
I'm
me?
your mother, you can call me mother.
Okay, mother. So what was your first experience traveling? Where was it? Like, what was the experience? Did you have a malo? Malo in Uganda is like saying things for the first time. You have to be differently.
Yeah. Actually, I never had a passport until maybe when I was about 32, 33, like that. So I had, in my office, I had work, I had helped somebody had referred some American man to me.
Yeah.
He wanted some investments in Uganda. And then, Africa with corruption and all this. So somebody said, if you went to such and such a lady, she might help you. She's a good lady. So like when you work, people watch you and know your character. So this man came looking for me at the reception. I went. I didn't know him. But I said, okay, he's going to invest in our country. So I was happy. And luckily enough, I had a classmate who was in investment authority then. So I just called her. I said, I have somebody here, this and this and this. Could you help him? So I didn't know that he had tried to get investment for a long time and he failed. He had kind of done a few trips and came back. And this time he was saying, this is the last time and then I'll go back. So then somebody said, you can go to so-and-so. Then they referred him to me. So I managed to help him start his investment in Uganda and all that. Then he came back after all this because he was surprised that I didn't ask for money. Because they associate people like, I do this, you have to do this for me.
Tit for tat.
Yeah, so I didn't ask for money. Then he came back expecting me to ask that I did this for you. And I said, it's okay, I'm happy. You're investing. He said, it really worked out. And he was looking at me because I didn't realize he had had a bad experience. I said, it's okay, thank you very much. And I'm glad that you found it easy to register and do everything in our country. And I'm happy you're going to create jobs. And I was just excited. And I said, I have to go and work now. And he looked at me. I didn't ask anything. I said, bye, see you next time. Probably I will come and see your office, how you have set up. And I forgot about that, maybe 3 months. And then our office was kind of an open office. This partitions, everybody their cubicle and what. And then I had people saying, Immaculate, and I said, what is this now? So I got up from my chair because it was cubicles anyway, you could stand and look. And I see a crew of journalists with cameras and white people. And I said, what have I done now? So they came they were kind of doing some small documentary. And I was surprised. I said, I'm Immaculate. What's wrong? And they said, nothing wrong, we were sent here to find you. We have this and this, and they explained to me that you helped somebody, and to say thank you, he has decided to send you to South Africa. I said, but I have no passport. He said, no, everything is covered. The only thing you have to say is yes. And I said, really? I was shocked, I didn't think. I said, it takes long to get a passport. But they got my passport in 3 days.
Wow.
And they came and they said they have arranged a trip for me to go to South Africa.
What part of South Africa?
The first place I went was Joburg, Johannesburg. And then, but we had, they had arranged a tourist I was there for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's long.
So I was going to go to
Did you go on your own?
Yeah, I went on my own. Because they had arranged all this, but I had people
to chaperone you.
Because they came, I think you are young, you remember they picked me from home, took me to the airport, and the other airport as well, they were waiting for me, and they took me around the whole of, and I went to Sun City where they do all those beauty pageants and all. Imagine me who had never traveled.
A girl from this tiny
But
village.
I was just faking it, so I said I will fake this until it gets true.
That's so cute.
But it was so nice, like,
Yeah.
I came, because then I had been always saying that if South Africa gets independent, you know, things
Yeah.
you just joke, like, when
Your
as
wishes
kids, yeah.
or like,
I
yeah.
said, if South Africa gets independent, I will go to South Africa. It will be the first country I will
Yeah.
travel to. But I didn't do that, like, it wouldn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
but it did happen for me.
Yeah.
And from that experience, for me, I was living in a 5-star hotel. I remember my room was in the 47th floor. And, like, I'm alone. Like,
Yeah.
I just, and the room, the way it was done, like, I
Yeah.
had never stayed in a 5-star hotel before.
Yeah.
When I came out, like, my room was a certain color, the different day. When I finished,
wow.
when I finished, like, showering and I go for breakfast, when I come back, because there were all these people at such and such, 9 o'clock,
That
you
was
should
the
be here.
scheduling.
Yeah, like, then, you know, South Africa is a bit rough, so I had this, like, security people guarding me and all that. And then they came and they said, oh, they are going to do this, they are going to do that. And I remember being in the hotel by myself.
Yeah.
I said, dear God, Margaret, what are you doing?
What are you doing here? This thing's gonna belong to you.
You know, because I looked at the room, like, my bed, the remote for the TV. I've never seen that. Was on my bed. I could just press while I'm lying down. I said, God, lady, enjoy. So that was my best experience. Like, then from there, then I had a passport. Then I came to UK and all that.
It opened up so many.
All other. And
Had you ever thought about traveling before then?
No. It wasn't like I knew I can't afford, first of all,
Yeah.
because like the salary was small.
Yeah.
Like you had to kind of budget the salary, school fees and everything.
Yeah.
So I never really imagined of travel. So that man did me a favor. All this travel I've done now around the world and
You opened
everything,
a
it was
world.
through him.
Yeah.
So I have to thank him for whatever he did for me.
It's funny, from that trip, only thing I remember about that trip is you bought us like Jesus sandals.
Yeah.
What's that material? It's like,
Yeah.
What's that called?
Viscron or something like
I remember those slippers were like Jesus ones. And they'll be like, they're kind of like these ones. They'll be like,
that.
you'll close them. And it was the first time we ever ate pears. Like a pear.
Yeah, because South Africa had like farms and all.
Till today, if it's like crunchy, like this makes me think about your first, like your trip to South Africa. I didn't know if it was your first or not. Like,
It was my first trip.
Yeah, but those are the memories I have from there. And like, I think we still have the duvet.
Yeah, we still had the duvet like I bought from there, from the show. Because, but another thing
It was a showground?
Yeah, it was a showground there. Like the time I went, there was a kind of a trade show.
Oh, okay.
So I bought like that from there because he gave me $1,500 for spending on top of all these other things. So I had money to spend. My food was paid for, everything. And
kindness of a stranger can go so
like
far.
sometimes you don't know what you do. That's why they say that in this world you might be helping angels without knowing. Like that man now, he opened my life.
Yeah.
It was through him I got the interest to travel and all these things. If I'm sure if I hadn't met him or he did that, I would never have left.
I really believe that's why, like, you should dream big. Like a few days ago, I was telling my husband, we're like getting ready for bed, and I was like, Michael, my next dream is to triple my salary. And he's like, do you mean like our salary to be like together triple or whatever? And I was like, no, just mine. Like my plan is for my salary to triple. And he's like, Sarah. And I was like, yes, because I need to dream big.
Yeah.
So the universe and Heavenly Father can rise me to that level. And I think that's why, like, we should dream even about the impossibles, because you don't, like, I remember meeting this guy I have a network with, and he was telling me, as you dream and as you send out positive energy, there's a ripple effect, like the environment around you starts to seek that for you. So I really believe, like, dream big and dream large, so that your eyes start to see beyond where you're at. So like,
that's what happened to me. But it was out of kindness. Small kindness always comes back to you.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. But my first time traveling on my own, every time I traveled, I had gone with someone. So I remember we had gone to New York with a group, like a dance group, and this dance group creates awareness for victims of torture at the time. And there, the guy who did the lighting for the show had a daughter. So he's French, and he had a French daughter, and she's maybe 2 years younger than me. So she was the only person in the, I don't know, the show or
The group.
that we knew, the group that was somewhat my age. So we became friends, and she was like, I'm going shopping, like, and I was just like, I'm not a shopper. I was like, sure, I'll come with you, like someone my age group. And we went around New York, and then like, and we just, it was more like name it and see it, and she could buy it. And I remember thinking, okay, people have arrived. Yeah, the standard was different. And then at the end, she was like, we should go clubbing. And then I was like, sure, but in New York, like, it was mostly 21 to get in. But neither of us had hit 21. Yeah. So we eventually ended up in this club, and we're like dancing and stuff. And she's like, you should come visit me in Paris sometime. I remember thinking, yeah, sure, like probably like once each other after like this like 2 days. And we went shopping that day, went clubbing that evening, saw her the next day to say bye, and we flew back to Dublin. So I hadn't really known her or like seen her for long. And when I went to say bye to her, she's like, you definitely should come to Paris. I have an apartment. I remember thinking, how does an under 21-year-old have an apartment in Paris? But I didn't know anything about Paris and living large. So when I came home, we broke up with my ex. I remember that what motivated me is I used to always wait for somebody else to go traveling with. And that's something I still need to improve, that it's okay to travel on your own. So I texted her, and I was like, I'm looking at Ryanair tickets or Aer Lingus, I can't remember. I was like, can I come see you? You had said I could come like to Paris. And she said, yeah, definitely, like what weekend? And I was like, next weekend or something. It was so spontaneous, like. And she was like, yeah, definitely come see me. And I said it to you guys. I was like, I'm gonna go to Paris. Like, I booked my tickets. And you guys were saying, where are you gonna stay? And I was like, you know the girl in New York, I wanna stay with her. And you're like, okay. And you know, I remember I booked my ticket, printed it out, got a piece of paper and cut them into different pieces and wrote down my name, my number, and then my next of kin, their number, and I had one in my jeans. I had one in my handbag. I had one in my luggage. I had one like stepped onto my passport. Like I just had it like in random places.
Security.
Just in case I got murdered, like you know, like they could find like my jeans. Like I had probably when I went out, I would have one in my bra just in case. I've never traveled on my own, like. But anyway, that was something I just remembered. So then I remember my brothers like made you watch Taken, and you were freaking out.
Oh my God, I didn't sleep.
It's set in like Paris, and here I was traveling to Paris
alone.
to this girl I knew for like less than
2 days.
2 days. But I remember I was at the airport texting you guys and like all these things, and I saw this guy like staring at me, but like I didn't know, obviously I'd never been to Paris. I didn't know black people.
Why in Paris as well?
Like so French.
Oh my God.
There's so very little that I knew. I was so young, to be honest. Like I was definitely under my 23. I was under 24 for sure. Like, and then I remember before the flight took off, this guy was like, sorry, I did French for 7 years, but I remember no word. But I remember he asked me the time. But I remember being like, what? And he was like, and I was like, friend, if you want to know the time, you better speak English, because me, I can't say it if you want in French. And he laughed and he said, yes, I do speak English. What's the time? And I said it to him, and he's like, oh, are you going back to Paris? Are you whatever? I remember thinking, this is how I could get kidnapped.
And I had warned you.
Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, I always go to Paris. And like I always go to Paris, like, you know, for the weekend. And he was like, okay, so what part of Paris are you going to? And I was like, Paris.
Paris. No village.
Do you know the stupidity of that whole thing? I didn't take down the girl's address. She just told me, I can't remember the name of the airport, but it's something like, it's like a bra in Spanish, in French. And she's like, when you get to the airport, there'll be a bus. Make sure you get onto that last bus, because the last bus of the day, and with my flights were the last flight arriving. She's like, get that flight, get the bus, and get on that bus. I'll be waiting for you in the depot in the middle of Paris city. That's how you know we're both so stupid and so young. None of us talked about like the name of this. No.
What about her phone?
I just had her phone.
Okay.
But Right before the flight takes off, my battery died.
Oh my God.
So unprepared. And I'm thinking, hey, God, this is when you need to be around. And I'm just freaking out. And I'm like, please, Heavenly Father, I want to be taken. And I really want to have a good time. This is my first time traveling. Like,
alone.
I didn't feel like anything was going to happen, but I was just underprepared. I had no French dictionary because remember that man telling me, like, you don't speak French, do you? And I was like, no, but I did French for school. And he's like,
I went to France as well. When I reached there,
the French came.
all the French disappeared.
Exactly.
And we went to the hotel. Luckily, I was with my friend. She speaks French. I said, but you used to speak French.
Yeah, I know.
I said, my French has gone, my dear. I cannot speak a single French. She could not stop.
I think I could only say like bonjour, or like dépêche-toi, which I think is like hurry, like désolé, like sorry. It was very like useless French. And and so the guy just kind of, I think he found me amusing. So
That
we're
was the
in
one
the
who
flight.
take you.
Oh, we're in the flight, and I remember thinking, how is this girl going to know I've arrived? Like I didn't miss my flight, that I have boarded, because I was like, I'll text her when I board, but the battery had died, right? I remember thinking, I need to make a friend really quick, like to figure out. So, like, he wasn't sitting next to me, but I looked for him on the flight when like it was like stable. I went around and I was like, hi, like you're talking to me at the like whatever during check-in. I was like, hey, how are you excited about like your flight? I think he didn't have someone sitting next to him, so I sat next to him. I went and sat next to him, and I was like, I'm going to get a bus. Like when we arrive, I did like little chit chat, like where are you going? You're going to visit family. He was working in Dublin, but he had gone to visit family because like something was wrong with a home, so that's why he was going. So I got kind of like warmed up to whatever he was doing.
But that was dangerous, in case he was a
I was
bad
trying
person.
to survive. And then,
Survival skills.
so then he was like, oh, do you need help? Like whatever. And I was like, oh, I know you told me like I should have a dictionary. I don't have a dictionary with me. And he's like, I'm sure someone on this flight like
Speaks English.
yeah, speaks English, Erasmus, whatever.
And that French accent, they were calling me. I was sitting next to them and I couldn't hear my name.
So he tapped the girl in front of her and was like, hi, blah, 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 in French. And the girl's like, yeah, I'm in school in UCD in Dublin, like I'm going home for whatever. And he's like, do you mind when, because he figured out that we're getting the same train into Paris City. So he said, do you mind like showing her, because you don't have a dictionary, I just want to make sure she's safe. And
That was good.
that was really nice. And he's like, can I have your number? I was like, yeah. Because if they kidnap me, I want to be able to tell police. So I was like, I'll just write it down, because he didn't know I didn't want him to know my battery had died. So I wrote it down, and he was like, oh, will you just text me when you arrive, or when you meet your friend?
So that he would
I remember being like, he's a smooth, but to be honest, my stupid head was just in like teenage holiness. I was just like, oh, this could be a good date. Like, maybe I could meet up with him in Paris later.
older than you now, Sarah.
It didn't matter at that time, as soon as I survived.
Yeah. God help me. If I know all this.
And then I forgot that the stupid girl doesn't have a phone. And I was just like, this could be good. And then anyway, like, so he got me this contact. The flight landed. We walked out together. And he's like, oh, good luck. Like, let me know. Like, if not, like, you can text when we get back to Dublin. We can meet up. And I was just like, yeah, sure. We'll see. So I get off, and this girl's like, hey, do you want to come with me? And the bus is leaving. She's like, run. She's like, we have to get that bus. That's the last bus into Paris City. So we are running, and she's just like, blah, 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 blah. And like the bus, like, it was turning in a way that it could take us. So like they stopped and
If
we
it was
got
the
in.
Dublin buses, they would have left you because they don't
finish.
They don't stop where there is no bus
Yeah,
stop.
stop. So then the guy stopped. We got in. I get to Paris City, and it's the last bus. There's nobody. This girl is nowhere to be seen. Did I never tell you the story before?
No.
She's nowhere to be seen.
I would have died if you
I'm
told
just
me.
thinking, all I see is a river and to walk over. I have no address. I have no phone to even say, I'll say I've arrived, where are you? Like, oh, my
Maybe
mom.
she tried to call you.
Nothing. Like, and I just was, my next tuition was like, just stand around and pretend to be on your phone in case someone comes, and I would be doing fake phone calls. I'd be like, those days I think I had a flip phone. And then I would be like, oh my goodness, you have arrived. Yeah, it was good. And then I would hang up just so people around me
Think that you are waiting for somebody.
yeah, and then, but then it got obviously it was so late. By the time I arrived to Paris, like Central was probably like 11:30.
Oh my God,
like
that was
PM.
late.
It was so late. And I was literally like, it was getting less and less. And this guy, they were closing kind of where the bus station like arrived. And he was like, do you need help? Like he said, spoke to me in French. And I was like, oh, no, I don't know. He said, so he translated in English. And he's like, do you need help or anything? And I said, oh, no, I'm good. My friend just said she's around the corner. Like she's just parking.
Parking at that age.
No, I didn't, like, she could be an older friend. I don't know. So he said, fine. And then they left. And a few minutes, like literally a few minutes, she turned up. Hey, I've never hugged that girl so tightly. I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, my battery died, blah, blah. She was like, it's fine, I couldn't get in touch with you and I wasn't sure, so I decided to come anyway. I was just like, oh, thank Jesus you have brains on you. So that was my first time ever traveling
But
alone.
that was really like very.
It was so bad, like, but she was so lovely. She like didn't turn up to work. She like called in sick. So she didn't turn up to work that whole weekend. She took me around to Paris to all like the best, because she was French. Like she took me to her apartment. Like she lived literally like
in the city.
Smack in the middle of the city. What's the big Charles de Gaulle or whatever? That like long like Paris like shopping whatever. Literally at the back of it. Like she was in the middle of the city.
That was
like,
good.
Jeez, these people are like in Mula. But like she took me around everywhere. Like some places were like sold out, like restaurants. But like we would queue and put our names on things. It was such an experience. Like I ate the best food I had ever eaten. Like there, I remember she took me to the Eiffel Tower. And it was so coupley and so romantic, and I had just been broken up with, so it was all like such a raw experience. But I always remember I have a picture, and there's couples everywhere when we're walking up the Eiffel Tower, and there's couples everywhere like making out, doing little kisses, after taking pictures, and it's just me in the middle of being like. And I love that picture because in that moment I was so happy. I was so free. It was irrelevant whether I had somebody or not, you know? And I had made it. Like I had done all this on my own with some strange, like, well, she was no longer strange, she was a friend, you know what I mean? But it was such a great experience. I remember we were walking down. It was that the year right before they, like, I guess they do it after they closed it down for repairs. That was the last day. And when we were walking, like around to get the lift to go down, they say the lift had stopped working. So these fools had walked and got in the lift to the very top. So having to walk from there down the Eiffel Tower down, and I am scared of heights to save my life. Oh my God, you're looking down. Oh, I prayed to Jesus so hard. And these boys thought it was funny, so they would like, they were walking behind us and they would like start like, because it's just metal, so like, and they'll jump and like, and I was just terrified, and I was just like, guys, can you just, and they're like the French. Sorry, that's not how they sound. But they were like just speaking. But we walked and she held my hand and she calmed me down. And halfway the Eiffel Tower, like the lights, not the way they turn on the lights, then they lit up the Eiffel Tower. I remember just being like, as terrified as I was, the beauty, there's no words in my vocabulary that could express how magical
that was.
This dirty city was. It's such a dirty city with so many rats, but it was just so beautiful and so surreal to just be there with no one that I really knew, but this new friend that was taking care of me, and just the magic where I like, you want to share it with somebody or like someone romantic.
But that's why everybody goes there for a romantic date.
But it was amazing because I didn't long for anyone. It was it was me and the city and this Eiffel Tower. I needed to still walk halfway down, and that forever will be one of my favorite experiences. Like I've gone back, like with partners, like, and it's different. So like that was my very first time traveling, but that really taught me that I could go. I didn't need somebody to experience life. Like when I had to go to America for my mission, I was more confident because I could do it. And one of my goals now, even being married, is I want to pack up my bags and go somewhere for a weekend on my own.
But charge your phone before.
I'll charge my phone before. I even said it to you guys, for my birthday, something I wanted to do is like turn up. This is one of my dream dates and goals. Turn up at the airport, book the next most affordable ticket somewhere I've never been, unplanned, get on the flight, get into the city, figure out a taxi to wherever the next nicest city is,
But we are good
go
in that.
book like a hotel last minute and stay in it, or an Airbnb, I don't know, stay in it and just like wander this city or this town I've never been, eat somewhere I don't know,
But be
like buy
careful, be
food and
safe
then
now.
get back.
Don't be talking to strangers.
You have to talk to strangers. How else are you gonna get around?
No, but like just kind
Google
of
Maps.
fasting them. Nowadays, Google Maps.
Yeah, that was an experience traveling alone for the first time, and it's opened so many doors and confidence, and we're so grateful that we were safe and healthy. But at least from your story, what I personally learned from it was like kindness does pay, and it can open so many doors. What about mine?
Your story
So
actually
honest.
taught me that, like, you have to be prepared, like,
Yeah.
because I wouldn't have thought of writing my name
It's
everywhere. Like,
Wow.
because I always kind of, maybe, like, I started traveling when I'm
Yeah.
older, so I was kind of aware of
Yeah.
my surroundings and all that. But what I did, I was always also leaving the hotel where I'm going to live. I leave it at home with my next of kin or something like that. So that in case something happened, they have where to start, the phone numbers, the contact there, things like that. So you cannot just jump and go and leave, because in case something happened to you.
Because your passport can be stolen
Yeah, it can
anytime.
be
Like
stolen.
I always advise people, like print a copy of your passport.
And
So
leave
but print more than one. I always advise. I
Yeah.
always do this. Have it kept in different places
and your ticket.
and your ticket, so that if your passport gets stolen, like God forbid, and you have to go to the embassy, there's some proof that you're not illegal in a country. Like you have some. Like, and I don't keep my wallet with everything. Like I remember going with my friends, and this is where we had to keep our I don't know why, because I didn't drink, so I should have known better. But we kept our passports every day in the morning. We rotated them around the hotel. Then in the afternoon, we moved it again. I swear. At the end of this trip, we could have forgotten where the passports were. But
You
because
could
we
have
didn't
given
trust the
it-
safe,
Yeah.
we were like, how do we know they don't like
No,
haven't
they
figured out how to
they
crack this?
actually like because most safes they give you the code,
Yeah.
you
And
can
then you have to
change yourself.
it. Yeah.
and but like some places you lock, like the key is one belongs to the hotel and you.
Yeah.
So when you
There's
have to
some
lock,
hotels that can be the ones planning.
yeah,
Like the
but
problem.
that one also you
So,
have to be
yeah.
like famous. Or
Always print, not famous, I look good. Somebody would want to kidnap me on my liver or something like that. But always, I always do it. Like have one in your jeans. Everything I wear on a holiday has my name, my contacts, my next of kin.
Yeah, that's I
Like in
think
a jeans,
very
in a
clever.
bra, I'm like
yeah, that's
somewhere, just in case.
clever. You have to, and somebody has to know where you are going.
Yeah, I'm really good when I'm away and being like, today we're going here, we're going
Yeah.
there, so
So
that
that
if I'm lost or taken,
Yeah, they
you guys
can
are like,
start where somewhere.
yeah. And with social media, do not post where you are. Don't do live anything. Like, tell someone, a friend or somebody at home where you are, what you're gonna do. Have somebody you can check in with. But do not post live while you're
Videos.
away.
Because in
You
case
just
somebody,
don't know who's also after
yeah,
you.
it is very
Like-
easy to trace you now, especially for the wrong people.
Yeah. But like it's easy. I've been lost in some places just because I'm going somewhere. I don't know how to get there. And one of my brothers has like he can find me, like find my phone or whatever. So he just logged on and he's like turn left, turn right. Like he just helped me know where I needed to go. So like even somebody tracking your phone, I don't know. I feel like can you track you when you're out of country?
Yeah, if you
if I was
can,
away.
you can.
Yeah,
It is
basically
an app.
figure it out. Be
They can
safe.
trace you.
Yeah.
Like before you go, you activate it
Yeah.
because that works even if your phone is
Something
off.
I need to be better at, like because you're with your partner or like you're going with someone, don't solely rely on them.
Because
Be
in case they
attentive
get
as well.
lost or
If they
something.
get lost, you get separated. That's something I need to get better at because I'm so used to like Michael's great with like Google and directions. I
in
just
case
can't
something
sit back.
or he falls sick.
Yeah, like make sure your phone is also like topped up.
Yeah,
That like
you should be independent.
be independent. That's exactly be independent even if you're going with a spouse
Yeah.
or like a family member.
Yeah.
Like you got
Be
to
ready that
yeah.
you could get stranded.
just in
So
case.
you
Or something can go down in another country. You need to like something I still
They
don't
can
fully
steal
trust
all
is-
your money,
Yeah, I know
all of
there's
you, all your
embassies are in
phones.
places for a reason. Some countries I wouldn't go to the embassy. I just have some political unfaith with some people that I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily just go declare.
and they might not even
myself.
help you.
yeah, sadly, I've had experiences where embassies haven't been of great help.
Mm.
Like, but we won't name some people's countries
Yeah. So
on this. We'll leave it out. But there's so much help. But if you really get stranded, like call home. Let somebody like call the embassy.
find
go
a
to the
way
embassy.
to call somebody.
Always have
A backup plan.
always have a backup plan, and always know people with money and connections. Like always know somebody who is a little bit mentally unstable. That if something happens and you're away, they will get that flight and come rescue you.
And even some
Like-
people, like people you know that if
And
I
fight
send
for
this message, they will act.
Yeah.
Because some people, they don't answer their phones. Yeah.
Do not put me as the next of kin.
Yeah, so
But
you
when I
have to know
answer,
that,
I will act.
that it is somebody, if I told, they will find it strange that I'm like this. Or like, for me, I have like, I pick my phone on the second ring, always, ever.
Yeah.
So if I don't answer my phone like twice, 3 times, something's wrong with me.
Yeah, check in with people when you're home.
So
Don't go
always
off the radar.
watch your family, the things they like to do. So if something goes wrong, you can pick
Yeah.
a cue from there. Because sometimes they can be in a situation where they can't talk.
Yeah.
So you should know that
That's
if,
unusual.
like my mom wouldn't do that.
Oh, after I came back from Paris, I went on a date with that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just one date though. And then
Okay.
we left like there.
Okay. Okay, then.
He helped me. I was safe. I made it. But yeah, if you've never traveled before, make it a goal. Like, dream big and be safe. And the world is kind of opening up. So as the world opens up and you're ready to travel again, like we hope that you'll have a fabulous experience and that it will open so many doors for your future as well.
Travel safe.
Travel safe. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Leave us a comment, share your experiences or your favorite places you've traveled, and do subscribe. It will be lovely to know when these videos come up. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to be notified when a video goes on. Have a lovely day.
Adios.